at something Mr. P sent me this week. Caden, superstar. We've got some of his work to show you up on the board. And a few other students. Let's have a look. Homework, dinner, shower, chores. Who recognises the technique? Come on, we did it last week. The week before, the Updike sentences. Homework, dinner, shower, chores. Even got the syllables right. 2, 2, 2, 1. Perfect. Osboy repeated the list of things he skipped to be in time for the exciting party. I like that. Lights flashed monotonously outside the entrance as the young man looked around for any passers-by, that would be. Pounding hardly, his vital organ drummed away as he decided firmly on how to act at the disco party. If I would watch party repetition there. Invited accidentally by the most popular kid in the school, I like that. No one even noticed that an invitation ended up in Osboy's greasy hands. I like that a lot. Returning to earth, he gazed, not literally, but figuratively speaking. Returning to earth, he gazed to the top of the stairs. Mr. C and Mr. P towered darkly, that's excellent, over the teen as he climbed to the top. They were two guards, hired by the rented building's landlord. Very clever thinking. And they were omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Handing his invitation over, he entered. There's a lot of thinking that's gone into that, a lot of creativity. Okay, it's the zinginess that makes writing stand out. Like it a lot. Let's have a look at some homework sentences from 3 other people. Felicity in year 3. Is she here? As rubbish spreads, scientists have to face a different challenge to try and save the ocean. Yeah, it needs a hyphen there that Mr. P added. Excellent. We have Lucy with recycling. Tracing back our carbon footprint, governments have invested in recycling to reduce the amount of garbage ending up in landfills. It stops excessive water and land pollution. And we have Shiny summarised. Working hard for 3 summers, Lily perfected her summarised speech, wowing the audience. See, there's good thinking that's going into these sentences. I like it a lot. We've got the verb start, the when start. Excellent writing. Okay? All right, I'm introducing something brand new to you today. I've been thinking about thinking. Great writing, we know, comes from great thinking. You can all write really well when you're working hard in class, thinking about your sentences. When you go away and write at home or at school, if you're not doing the thinking, the writing goes kaboom, the quality collapses. So what's crucial is that we maintain the thinking. So I've been wondering to myself, how do I get you guys to think? Okay? How do I get you to think? In your head is this physiological channel, a river, a pathway, if you like, a neural pathway in your brain, that when it comes time to creative writing, your brain goes down that pathway and the ideas become predictable and not terribly interesting. When you force your brain to think differently, it can. But unfortunately, lazy brain takes over too often. And lazy brain is the antithesis. It's the opposite. It's the enemy. Lazy brain is the enemy of quality writing. So, I thought to myself, how can I get these kids to think harder? And the result is, ta-da, ta-da, what we call our phrase injectors. Open up your black books and write that down, please. Phrase injectors. Phrase injectors. High schoolers, these are going to be essential to your writing, probably twice per paragraph. Grade 5 and 6, you definitely could start using these twice per paragraph. Younger ones, start thinking about these kinds of phrases. Phrase injectors. Let's start with it rained, comma. Please write that down. It rained with a comma. And then 60 seconds to finish it with some more information. It rained, blah, 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 blah. Go. See what you can come up with. See what your brain comes up with. Pencil, probably over there.
Stay there. I'll get
He'll bring it. It rained, and then some extra information, please. More seconds. Finishing off. Get to your full stop. All right. Let me introduce you to our brand new phrase injectors. I just took a screenshot of some of them because I couldn't fit them all on the one screen, I didn't think. Okay. It rained, comma, and then an injector to help our thinking go in a different direction. That's what they do. I'm going to prove it to you. Underneath what you just wrote, leave a line and go again. It rained, comma. I'm going to give you one. It rained, comma. And the one we're going to use, you ready? With the gentleness of. It rained with the gentleness of what? So this is gentle rain. My example is this one. With the gentleness of a feather as tiny drops twinkled and danced their way to a soft, moist landing. Could you do one, please? It rained with the gentleness of a fairy's breath. Blah, 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 blah. It rained with the gentleness of. See what you come up with. If you're stuck, you can use parts of mine. Okay? 60 seconds. Yeah. Oh, pencil's busted. I would encourage you guys to use paces. They're great. Or the friction pens that can rub out. They're good too. It rained with the gentleness of a feather as tiny drops twinkled and danced their way to a soft, moist landing. Very descriptive. Evokes an image and really captures the idea that this rain was soft. Okay, so that's what you're trying to do. Now, here's the beauty of it. Not only could I use with the gentleness of, but look, I could go with all the ferocity of. That means like fierceness. So this is really hard rain. It's pouring down. So let's have a go. It rained with all the ferocity of what? Of a raging river, it could be. It rained with the ferocity of a raging river. That's heavy rain. But not only that, I could choose a whole bunch of other different ones. For it rained. I want to say one thing. Using these, it does take some judgment by you. Some will work, some won't. It rained because whichever. I wouldn't use that. It rained because the only other option. I wouldn't use that. It rained. It rained with an odd shape caused by. I wouldn't use that. This one I would use. It rained with a dazzling array of drops. Fat drops, skinny drops, long drops, drops that hurt you when they hit you in the forehead or whatever. I would use that one too. So you need to choose carefully. We're going to get a printout of these phrase injectors for you. It would be fantastic to keep them with you in your book, and when you're at home, because now you're taking your books home, you've got an assignment to write. Big schoolers, I'm talking to you particularly. History, geography, science, it doesn't matter. These things can be used. I'm going to prove that to you in a moment. Right, before I do the other subjects, I want you to have a go at one or more of these. She cried, or he fell, or they disappeared. Okay? Put a comma, and then a phrase injector, and finish it off. Let's go. All right, my friends. Time to show you how it can work in other subjects. High schoolers in particular. I told you, science, history, etc., etc. 2 times per paragraph. If you can inject these twice per paragraph, you're going to lift the quality. You're going to lift the teacher's opinion of your writing. They're going to go, something about her work, I don't know what it is, because you're thinking and writing like an author. This is how textbooks are written, okay? Remember, my whole goal was, how can I get you to think more like authors? And these force you to. So if you force yourself to think with these, boom, up goes the writing. So let's do an example with Ned Kelly. Hands up if you've heard of Ned Kelly. Some people haven't, I know, you might be a bit young yet. You'll usually learn about Ned Kelly in grade 4, 5, 6 or 7. Okay? Ned Kelly, as we know, was a notorious outlaw, Australia's most notorious bushranger, who embarked on a criminal, he went on a criminal spree, a little criminal adventure, stealing, fighting, murdering, evading police, but at the age of 26, the officials caught up with him and hung him in a Melbourne jail. He was famous for wearing that metal suit and resisting police arrest and evading. Pause. So the reason, what I find fascinating is that he's now part of Australian folklore. For some reason, Australians revere, that means almost worship means deep respect, criminals. I don't understand it. There was a show called Underbelly about 4 years ago. That's about criminals, and we watch it on TV. I don't understand. I don't, but I know people do. Same with Ned Kelly. He's this almost hero in Australia, and he killed people. If I got a gun, I went outside and shot 3 people, I'm not going to be a hero. I don't understand it. Something about the Australian mentality. But what it really is this. He was rebellious. That means he didn't like the law picking on him and his family all the time. And he was upset by that. He was angered by that. So it forced him to act in criminal ways. They were chasing him, the shootout, accidental on purpose, whatever, they were firing at each other. Of course, someone's going to get hurt. So we're going to try a history example right now with Ned Kelly stole cattle. Cattle meaning cows. Okay, can you write that down, please? Ned Kelly stole cattle, comma. Ned Kelly stole cattle, comma. Now, we have to see which of these will work. One example, write this one down. Ned Kelly stole cattle, thus ending his innocence. In other words, he's no longer innocent. So, thus ending. Write that down. Ned Kelly stole cattle, thus ending his innocence. I'll spell that for you. I-double-N-O-C-E-N-C-E. Ned Kelly stole cattle, thus ending his innocence. You put that in an essay at school, a teacher's going to pay attention, I guarantee it. Why? Because children don't write like this. They don't write like this. We want you guys to stand out. Oh, interesting announcement. Kelly from our first group was shortlisted in the microfiction competition. 120-word story. Let's give her a clap even though she can't hear it. That was awesome. We're really stoked by that. All right. Kids don't write like this. So we want you guys to stand out. It's what we want for you. Scribble Ink wants you to be the best writers you can be and to stand out at school. We know it happens. We hear parents telling us, my teacher's saying my child's writing like grade 8, blah, 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 which is fantastic. Let's try another one. Ned Kelly, write it again. Ned Kelly stole cattle. Again, underneath. Ned Kelly stole cattle. Comma. Thus proving. Let's try this one. Thus proving. Now I don't want to say he was, thus proving he was a villain. I don't want the was there. Thus proving his villainous nature. I'll spell that for you. His villainous. V-I-L-L-A-I-N. Villain. O-U-S. His villainous. V-I-L-L-A-I-N-O-U-S. Villainous nature. N-A-T-U-R-E. Nat-U-R. So, Ned Kelly stole cattle, thus proving his villainous nature. Okay, again, teacher's not going to expect that. High schoolers, include 2 phrase injectors in every paragraph in your next report, analysis, whatever it might be. It's going to lift in sophistication, lift in quality, providing you pick the right one and it's grammatically correct, of course. That makes a big difference. All right, let's go to science. Ready? You're going to have a go now. What did I say last time? Something about the bones in the human body. Oh, the bones of the human body. Ready? Your turn. The bones of the human body. The bones of the human body provide structure. The bones of the human body provide structure, comma. And up to you to finish it. Leaders will see whether you've chosen an appropriate injector and then finish it off with something interesting. Here we go. This is a tough one. I saved the hardest till last. Okay? The bones of the human body provide structure, comma. See what you come up with.